Hello, welcome to day 5. I am Tina. Welcome back, my friends, to our Reading Together adventure. I hope you are all doing well, and I appreciate you returning. So here we sit at day 5, and I have to think that you, like me, are starting to feel a little transformation beginning to happen. Because transformation, like so many things, does not have to be a lot. It can be a feeling even, and something different than we felt last week before we began these videos. So therefore, transformation becomes our day 5 word of the day. So transformation happens by doing something differently. If we do the same thing as we did yesterday, we are likely going to get the same outcome. But you, us, are choosing to create a different outcome. To transform our outcome for today, we are simply reading together for 15 minutes versus scrolling or watching TV for that time period. So first of all, I want to say congratulations for engaging in taking that action. Before we begin, I feel compelled to stick with I'm going to call it our motto that we've had for the last 4 videos, which is we are simply coming together to read together, because sometimes doing something together in community holds us accountable and is more fun. And with that, because we are still in that 7-day window, I also want to hit the logistics real quickly in case anybody is just popping straight on to day 5 here without watching the past videos. So first up, we are all reading our own book to keep things simple and to keep things moving along and to make it so nobody is self-shaming, thinking that they missed and need to quit. Just hop back on where you left off and you are good to go. The second part is that these videos will be 15 to 16 minutes with 10 minutes of reading time. And this is a time to stop the scroll or just to escape something, in our lives to give us that free time. The other piece as far as the reading time is that if you want to read longer than the 10 minutes, simply pause it and then unpause it when you have finished your reading. I think that would be fantastic. The other part of that 10-minute reading is that I do run an audio. If the audio kind of distracts you, then just hit mute and then unmute it at the end of that. At the end of the videos, I will simply come on and ask you to share the book that you read today, the author of that book, and one nugget that you're taking away, because I think that is so important in our reading. And as well as to go on, and hopefully some more people are leaving information and just kind of peek at what other people are reading in comments, and feel free to comment on those in a supportive and kind way. Lastly, this is the last video of the first series that I released. And so right now, if you look at the playlist, there should be day 8 through 14, and I will continue to release these 1 week at a time so that I can make any tweaks based off from feedback or my own changes, as this is my first playlist and I wanted that opportunity to do that. If you come on after the last week of September, first week in October, all 30 videos should be up and available for you. And I think that is the last of the logistics. So with that, again, thank you for joining me. Let's grab your book, free your mind of any distractions, take a deep breath, and let's settle in to read. Hello, here we go. I hope you had a nice read. I hope you're chilling out and relaxing into this, and I hope it will carry forward in your day or your evening. So I will continue to share today If Woman Rose Rooted by Sharon Blackie. I think I'll finish out our first 7 days with this and then switch out to a new book to share with all of you. And once again, I have a quick excerpt, but this time it's taken from the phase I'm in of the book. Is the author is sharing some stories of people more my generation, I guess, who have been in search of a connection to place. So this is an excerpt from one woman's story of kind of leaving, I'm going to say the real world, but the corporate world, city living in England, and being called to remote Ireland. And so this is the quote. "More than anything now, I seem to have a need for invisibility as I slowly began to prepare for the long, hard work of trying to uncover what it was that I might become. Now that all the trappings of the wasteland had dissolved, the bright, shining veneer of worldly success was all gone, and what was left was me. What did I want? More importantly, what did I have to give?" And I think it's nice. It's a woman's story of realizing that world that she had put a veneer on, in essence, and made up for herself or thought she needed to do. She was basically stripping it all away, and now it was time to figure out who she was and what she was going to give back to the world. And it goes on to talk more about finding a connection to place. And I already recommended, so I couldn't pull it back out, but Anam Cara is a fantastic book for helping us realize that connection to place. And ironically, she moved to Ireland, and Anam Cara is a Celtic book of wisdom. So I would recommend that. But the book that, when I went to my bookshelf, that I brought back over, and it's not necessarily that I'm recommending this book because it's a tough read, I have to tell you, The Maine Woods by Thoreau, Henry David Thoreau. And why I brought this one over to share with you is that when I was got through my divorce and I was connecting, trying to find myself, I went and I researched a lot of my ancestors. And I picked up this book and read a bunch of it. I didn't read the whole thing, I have to say. Was that I needed a connection to place, because some of my ancestors, a lot of my ancestors have been here since soon after the Mayflower, and then what was the next one? I'm spacing on what the next boat was that came over from England. So I have folks that have been here, since 1680s, 90s. And so this is where my family's from, is Maine, and not originally, but you know what I'm saying. And as they started moving up the coast of Maine, I wanted a feel of that connection to their travels, because it's not like hopping on 295 or 95 and going from A to B. So I would recommend, not necessarily this book because you don't all live here, but finding a book that gives you the history and the connection to your ancestors, because I think it's important to ground in that way. And so that is my recommendation, and I'm getting long-winded. I apologize. So with that, just a reminder as I sit in my beanbag chair, hand-me-down beanbag chair for my kids, that please go on into the comments, share your book, your author, and the nugget that you're taking away today. Feel free to comment on anybody else's stuff in a kind, supportive way. And with that, we are wrapped day 6. I'm proud of all of you. I hope you'll continue on and maybe expand, and and transform, I guess would have been a better word. And I hope that you'll be back for day 6 tomorrow. I apologize. I may have made an error in the video and said that this was day 7 and that the day 8 through 14 would be up. I spoke too soon as I was preparing the next videos. So we are at day 5, and the next videos will pop up probably in a day or 2. So you'll have access to those. Thank you for understanding so that I don't go back and re-record. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.